fellas, welcome back. Bit of an update video on what's been happening since we've painted the control panel. Now I've been doing a few tests with the control panel, and I'll talk about that in a second, but this is just going to be an update video for the week, and then at the weekend I'm going to be installing a few things and attaching bits and bobs to various things. I've had quite a few things arrive since the last video that went up, so I'll run through what's arrived. So I went to Screwfix and I've ordered 3 of these 16 amp plugs with the sockets, which will be going underneath the control panel. I like it. That's one job that I've got to do at the weekend, is strip everything off the control panel yet again and make the cuts to the bottom of the control panel to fit the sockets and to fit these little babies here. Now I'm going to cut to a clip where I went over to see Harry. We'll explain a little bit more about these. Look at him chucking his hose around. That's Harry's. We're having a night of it, aren't we, mate? Somewhat. We're stopping over. Craig's been good enough to let us use his flat for the night, so we're stopping over at Craig's.
By the way, the light's terrible down there.
Right.
You might want to stay out here. I do it all the time off vlog.
You've got all it through.
I know. We spotted it the other day. I think some little shitbags must have thrown a stone off at the street. And it's pinged an hole.
Oh dear. But anyway, I thought whilst we're sort of meeting up just to have a drink and something to eat tonight, that I'd bring down the pots, because when we welded them up, here, in fact we're just there, it was when his Dremel bit the dust and we were fetching the coking off halfway through doing that and it bit the dust. So you've got the air tool now, haven't you, that does it?
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll bring them down, we'll just have a bit of time just cleaning them up. What are these called, Harry? These plugs? What are these plugs called?
They're actually aviation plugs, but eBay call them XLR.
Aviation plug. Right, let me dismantle this and I'll show you what I've done. So that's the baby. The twin cable is from the probe to the control panel, is going to be run on these. I think Harry showed you in his vlog the other day, but they basically come to bits like this. So this piece here will be in the control panel, and then this lead will obviously plug back in like so into the control panel. And then the other side of the lead that runs to the pots will have another one of these, and they'll be going into the thermowells, which are obviously too big. So I've got this little brass, what's that, half inch, I think it is, because I've got a 3/4 inch. It's too big, way too big. So that screws into the thermowell like that, and that screws into that little badger like that. So the probe will be attached with the plug into the thermowell, and then when we want to take the probe out or off, the lead off for cleaning, it just comes away like that and leaves that in the pot. Yes, so we're going to be using them in conjunction with this, which is I've got 2 10-metre rolls at 0.75mm twin. It's just speaker wire really, and that is going to be the lead for the probes that are going to run from the pot, like you've just seen in the clip, back to the control panel, where I'll have, let's pull one apart, where I will have that sat near the plugs at the bottom of the control panel. So to plug the leads in, I plug that into the bottom of the control panel, the other end runs to the thermowells. So I've got them to fit, I've got one for each pot, and I'm going to be doing the same for the fermentation fridge as well. I'm going to be utilising a bit more length so that I can get everything nice and tidy for the fermentation fridge. I also, while I was at Screwfix, I also picked up the last element while I was at Screwfix. So now we've got all the elements. This element's for the HLT, and then there's two for the boil pot. So things are starting to come together now. What else did we do? Oh yeah. To run power from the control panel to the elements, I've got a 25 metre roll of it's a rubber sheath tough pond. It's a flexi pond, 2.5 3-core, and I must say I wanted everything in black, and it would have been cheaper to get it in white, but I do like the feel of this. It's rubbery, it is really flexible, and I think it looks the business. So we've got the cable ready to run from the control panel to the elements. Talking of which, the control panel, I think the last you saw it was just painted. Well, I've actually put everything back in just to see how it looks when the paint's been dry, and well, let's have a look. I'm ready for a big reveal. Ta-da! Now bear with me, alright? Bear with me. So, the paintwork is done. I think you'll agree that it pops. Now everything's in place. I've got to take it all off again because I've got some cuts to do at the bottom. You may be asking why I have written everything in, and that is because I couldn't find where to get the labels that I wanted. And then when I heard that Homebrew Chris, had had trouble with his, how they hadn't done them correctly like 3 times, and the fact that I wanted to just crack on, I thought, well, take your time and do it as neat as you can with a Sharpie. So that's what I did. The problem is that when I did a gloss test, a clear lacquer test, which is what I bought to lacquer the whole thing, it starts to run the Sharpie, and not only that, it then started to crease the paint. Now, Brian from Short Circuited Brewers contacted me and said, before you spray it on, do a test somewhere where you're not going to see it, which I was going to do, but he sort of reminded me, and I'm glad I did, because it's ended up making a bit of a shit show of it, basically. And I tried it on the top and I tried it on the back, and I wasn't having the results that I wanted from it. So I've decided to not put anything on it. That will be fine. It's not something that's going to be outside getting knocked. It's just going to have me just doing that basically on switches. So it's not having any more done to it apart from that. The night I wrote everything on, I got contacted by Colin. Colin is a viewer of the channel, and he's obviously been watching the control panel build. And it was literally like the next morning or the next night after I'd written everything on it that he said, "Do you want these?" Friggin' labels. So I was like, yes please. He doesn't actually know that I'd written everything on. So I was like, yes, I'll have them. So hopefully the plan is to stick the stickers on over what I've written to cover it up and have a nice neat job with the stickers. Funnily enough, he said that he got these which were yellow text and an outline around the box. He was like, I didn't think I'd ever need them, and then you do a yellow control box. So we've got like yellow or black and white. Now these are, I think these are vinyl and they're heat transferred. But I did a test on the back. I don't know whether you can see that. So I did a test. I was using the stickers that I won't be using just to put against the yellow to see which one looks best. And although the black and yellow text matches the paintwork, I think that the black and white text is a lot clearer. I think I'm going to go black and white, and I'm going to label up everything that's on the control panel that I've sort of written on. That's what's going to happen now with the control panel, apart from the fermentation fridge, which looks fine. I just wanted to put a little bit of detail around it just to separate it from the rest of the control panel. That's what she's looking like so far. What else? What else? Oh yeah, this arrived today. Arrived from China with a little thing here. Traditional China, achievements of our dreams. Peking opera, one of the culture's treasures of China. It's a form of traditional Chinese theatre which combines music, vocal performances, mime, dance and acrobatics. Don't know why they've sent that with these, but the relays have arrived. Hurrah! So that was one of the things that I was waiting for. So it comes with the sockets and the relays, which are the ones I need to run this control panel. The last thing I need, which I have ordered, is some cable tie little blocks which you stick on, and then you can put your cable tie through them. They like stick to the control panel, so you can keep everything in place. But I ordered them off eBay, but from an English seller, so they should be here like in a couple of days. And then I think that's it. I think we're ready to rock and roll. But that's it for that. Now, over here, which you've probably seen a glimpse of, is something I've been knocking up, and it's had its third coat of gloss. And you're actually looking at the bottom. That's the top. That's the front. That's the front, and that's the back, obviously. And this is the extractor hood. I thought I could probably knock one up. I've had to design it in such a way that I have a place to mount the fan, which will be mounted on there, and then a hole cut out on this side, on this plane here, to exhaust the steam out. And I've had to build it like this so that I can bring the fan over this way, so that I'm not on top of the hole that I'm trying to get the steam out of. Just so happens I picked up another fan. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more powerful than that thing. That's what we've been using. Holy Mother of God. So this is a Manrose inline fan. I think it's 245 cubic meters per hour. That's the difference from the new fan and the old fan. So that's going to obviously be mounted on the box down there, and then we can just vent it out the hole that we have been using at the minute. But that's quite the beast. It's quite the beastie fan. I'm hoping it's going to draw the steam out of the hood and away, which I think it will do quite easily because it's massive. Like you can see here on the inside where I've screwed it together, and I picked up some of this angled corner cover, which is a chrome, which I can cut to size and then stick over the joints, and I can do the same down here. Just just sit it on, cut it to size, and cover all the screw holes, make it look a bit neater. Still seems like a long way away, but I think I'm left now with tiny little jobs, quite a few tiny little jobs which I can tick quite a few off. But I'm hoping at the weekend at least to get the extraction hood screwed to the ceiling, get the fan mounted to the hood, get the pipe work on the fan and out, and cut out the bottom of the control panel to fit everything that we need to fit to the bottom, and then that's it. Then I can stick the stickers on once everything's back in place, and that's it. So as always, don't forget to watch the video because you don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Share the video all to see. Until next time, I'm out of here.